Hey guys, Gregory Dixon, the go-to guy for all things real estate in Southern California. That's right, you're number one foreclosure and distressed asset manager in Southern California. Listen, the first quarter, January to April, is almost over, and we're gonna give you a breakdown today on what's going on in the foreclosure market, right? Okay, I'm gonna read some things to you, let you know. I know foreclosure is very stressful. I know it's a very difficult time. I know personally, I've been through it myself. As a realtor, I've been doing this for over 20 years, and 2008 was a disastrous year for me. I lost a property. I lost some properties to foreclosure, and I remember the stress and just dealing with it, and people knocking on the doors, and the phone calls, and it created havoc in my household. So I know what you're going through if you're in foreclosure right now. And at that time, when I was going through it, it was really, really bad. I had a loan. I didn't understand, even though I was in real estate, I didn't understand the type of loan I had. I didn't understand. I had a first and a second. The first was with one company. The second was with another company. And the two companies were Countrywide Home Loans and Aquin Financial out of Florida, and they were horrible. Especially Aquin, they were terrible. The person who I dealt with in customer service was horrible, straight trash. But I digress. Listen, I'm gonna break it down to you like a fraction. If you're in foreclosure, you need help, do not hesitate to reach out. One thing about foreclosure, time is of the essence. You are on the clock. Give me a call direct, 323-795-0441. And I give you free consultation. Anything I can do to help you, I'll be more than happy to help you. Do not sit back and lose the equity in your home. If you have equity, there are options and things that are available to you. A lot of people don't know. I didn't know. I sold a property I didn't have to sell because I didn't know what all of my options was. And like I'm saying, I was a real estate professional. I was new in the business then, but I was a real estate professional. And, not wanting to reach out to people, not wanting to discuss it, not wanting everybody in your business, I went through all of that. So if I went through it, you shouldn't have to, right? So guys, I'm gonna tell you what's going on in the market right now, right? Foreclosure activity is up 22% over last year this time. We're in the first quarter, right, which is January 1st to April 30th, right? That's the first quarter of the year, right? Now, a total of 95,712 U.S. properties carried foreclosure filings during the first quarter. That was from January to now, 95,000 homes. Banks have actively started the foreclosure process, meaning they at the very least have received a notice of default. Um, they're in different stages of foreclosure, but the beginning stage is notice of default when you are notified by the bank that you are behind on your mortgage, right? Now, it's 6% has picked up from the first quarter of this year to last year, meaning that in this first quarter of the year, it's more activity than it was the first quarter of last year, right? And so nationwide, this is a big thing. Um, for the last, when we dealt with COVID and everything, the government put moratoriums in place and passed legislation that had it where banks couldn't just go after homeowners because that's usually what happens. I say this all the time. A bank is not your friend. Let's be honest. Let's be clear. Let's talk adult talk here. Banks are not your friends. You have a fiduciary agreement with a bank. You have a financial agreement with a bank. They loaned you some money to buy a house. They wrote the mortgage. You agreed to the terms. They gave you the money. You agreed to pay. You don't pay. They not going to be, oh, that's my friend. Let's not foreclose. No. Banks are not in the business to be mortgage companies and real estate companies. They write mortgages because they make money, right? But they don't want to, anytime they see what's described as a non-performing asset, which is a mortgage note that's not performing, meaning that you are not paying on this. They are losing. So a lot of times they initiate the foreclosure process right on time, but the government has been holding them at bay. But now that all of those moratoriums, all except a few, have been lifted, the banks are ready to like go after people that are in foreclosure and foreclose, sell the property at foreclosure sale, get their money back out of it, right? And then loan more money because that's how they make money. They make money by moving money, not by uh, servicing mortgages to homes. They make money that way too. But once they see that the goose has stopped laying golden eggs, they ready to sell the goose, right? And which is what happens a lot of times. They sell mortgages, they'll hold them for a year or two, maybe 5 years, and that the point where they're getting all this interest, and then they sell the loan, right, on the secondary market. That's why some of you probably received mail from a loan servicing company that says, "Hey, your loan with ABC Mortgage Company is no longer being serviced by ABC Mortgage Company. Um, uh, Albert Elite Capital Loans is now your mortgage holder, and you'll be paying your mortgage to them. They'll send you a coupon book, whatever, whatever." That's usually how that works, right? Now, let's be clear. Even though banks are actively foreclosing right now, they are really actively foreclosing and starting to turn it up a little bit. Two things are in your favor right now if you're in foreclosure, if that makes any sense. Nobody, especially the government of the United States of America, wants to see another 2008 in the mortgage sector. Nobody wants to go through that again. So there are more properties that are in foreclosure that they are bringing to the market than that are active. All the properties that are actually in foreclosure have not been released to the market. I know this for a fact. I'm in Southern California. I have foreclosure sources from 3 or 4 different places, and there's a foreclosure list that comes out every day. I know this for a fact because I represented a seller, and I have I got their home. They had a trustee sale, and I've gotten it postponed. I've closed the deal, but I've got that sale postponed 6 times, extending it over the course of a year. So they are really willing to work with you, especially if they see you working with a realtor. If you want to sell the property, they want to know how they're going to get their money. And if you have a realtor who can reach out to them, speak on your behalf, let them know, hey, the property is on the market. I got buyers. Someone's going to buy this property, or we're in escrow. This is what's going on. And then they're really willing to work with you. So, you guys, a lot of times I've dealt with people that have lost their property simply because of pride. And I won't say just simply because of pride, but in the majority of every in the majority of people's lives in the United States of America and in the world for that fact, home purchase is probably going to be the biggest purchase they ever make of their life. And it's probably going to be the biggest loan commitment and agreement to pay that they ever make in their life because it's 30 years, right? Some there are 15-year mortgages and things like that. They say they're going to be a 50-year mortgage. I haven't seen that yet. Or 45-year, I haven't seen that yet. Or 40-year, I haven't seen that. But the standard 30-year mortgage, right? That's going to be a long commitment. And let's say you're living in the home and you bought the home, husband and wife, 2 kids, a dog. Kids are growing up. This is the family home. Or you've had the home and it's been passed down and then someone took out a loan or something, whatever. For whatever reason, you fell behind on the mortgage. Now, you have this emotional attachment to this home because it's your home. I get it. I totally understand it. But the bank like I say, once again, they're not your friend. They only want the answer to one question: how? And when they file foreclosures, right, the bank has really taken it out of their hands and put it into their lawyer's hands. And the lawyer is only going to do what's best for his client. So he wants to know, you owe the bank, you owe my client. How do you plan to satisfy the debt? Right. So if you're working with a realtor, a broker, and you're going to sell the property, or you have this plan in place, then they'll work with you. They'll work with you. I haven't had a bank yet that wasn't willing to work with me, and like I say, I'm the guy. I am the number one foreclosure distressed asset guy in Southern California. I talk to banks all day. I talk to banks all day, and I knock on doors of people that's in foreclosure in Southern California every day. So nobody has their pulse on the market more than me, right? So they're not gonna release all these properties that are in foreclosure to the market at one time. Um, the other thing that's a good thing for the majority of you guys out there, that if you purchase a property anytime, let's say from 2008 to 2013, 14, 15, anywhere in there, right? You purchased the property, you had a very low interest rate, and the growth of the property, you have some equity. I haven't seen I haven't seen a home yet that was purchased in that time period that didn't have a lot of equity, unless the homeowner was pulling from the equity, refinancing, that. But if you haven't been pulling all the equity out of it, 9 times out of 10, you have equity there, which, depending on the amount you do have, you may be able to get a loan. Now, the loan that you're going to get is going to be a hard money loan. It's not going to be a soft money loan. What I mean, what's the difference in hard money and soft money, right? Hard money loan is very easy to qualify for. The home is basically qualifying for the loan, the equity in the home. The lender is going to give you the money you need to do what you need to do, because he's going to be in a no lose situation if he has to turn around and foreclose on you, because the home has equity, right? So he can't lose. Meaning that, let's say you have $800,000 home, you owe 500,000. The lender turns around, loans you 100. That $800,000 home, he's only in it 6. So if he had to foreclose on you, he still would make money, and that's the hard money loan. Soft money, but hard money loans come with shorter time period, and the interest rate is a lot higher. So if the interest rate is 6 right now, let's say 6.5, 6.75 maybe, today's rate, then your hard money rate is going to be somewhere around maybe 11, maybe 10, 11, 12, depending on the lender, depending on what rate you could negotiate. Different lenders have different rates. So that's the difference in that. Easy to qualify, payment a lot higher. You need a lot of equity. You need equity, right? The lender has to be able to. The lender has to be able to feel that he's in a no lose situation by doing the deal. It's a no brainer deal, right? Um, Soft money, the interest rate is lower. Let's say on a refi, if the rates is 6.75, you could refi 6.75, 7.5, somewhere around in there, 8, you know. But no lender is going to refinance a person that's in foreclosure with a soft money loan. That's not going to happen. That's because that soft money loan is going to be full documentation. What's full documentation? That means they're going to do a 1003, which is a mortgage application, right? On that mortgage application, you got to fill out everything. They're going to want taxes. They're going to run your credit report. Well, if you're in foreclosure and they posted a foreclosure on your credit is shot. You're dead. And every month you're getting a late payment on a mortgage. I mean, that first one, and let's say you was at 740 on that first one, the first time it got filed, that notice of default was filed. The first time it was filed and it hit your credit 30-day late, it killed 100. Let's say it killed 140 points. So now you're down to 6, right? Next month, now you 60 days late, say another 100 points. 90 days late, another 100 points. Man, you in the 400s right now. No lender's going to give you a soft money loan on that, right? You're going to have to go hard money. You're going to have to go hard money. From a private equity guy, someone who has their own money. They're not a traditional banking institution, and they're gonna write the loan in their favor. But what it can do, and I've seen this happen, if you can borrow enough money, you could pay whatever that loan is for a year. Then you turn around and within that year, get your credit back in good standing, and then you refinance out of that hard money loan back into a loan that's of the current rate for that day, right? You could do that. You can always sell your home. If you got a lot of equity and you want to try to make as much as possible, then you get with a broker or a realtor like myself, and we reach out to the bank. We talk to the bank. You sign a listing agreement. You sign a third-party authorization with me where we can call the bank, explain to them what's going on. If there is a sales date, we're going to get it pushed back. We're going to get it taken off the calendar. And so they'll understand this is where we're going. And it's not really a problem for them because the longer that loan is out, they're charging more money. Your payoff demand is going to change every month until that loan is paid off. Every time we have to order a new payoff, if we're getting ready to close the transaction, the figures are gonna change. And it's just the price of doing business. But don't sit there and feel like, the problem's gonna go away because you're not addressing it. That's not gonna happen. The problem is not gonna go away. They are going to want the money. They want the money or the house. You got alternatives. You can file bankrupt, but there's some things you're gonna have to do. Every solution comes with another problem, if that makes sense. If you're in foreclosure, you got a sales date, you file bankruptcy to stop the sale. Okay, when you go to court, when you go to the trustee, the trustees don't want to know what the plan is. And if you don't show up to court, they're going to automatically dismiss the bankruptcy, and now the bank can go full speed ahead with foreclosing on the property. Right? So, if you want to sell it, you can sell it. If you want to refi hard money, that's going to depend on how much equity you have and what's your plan going forward. It all comes down to what's your plan going forward. But foreclosures are up. They're definitely making their way back to the market. The banks do want to unload all these toxic loans that they have on their books. They want to get rid of these loans. They want to get their money back freed up so they can loan more money. Now, especially because the interest rates are high now. Banks wasn't really making money when the interest rates was 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%. They wasn't really making money, right? But now that interest rate being 8%, let's say a person that their property value is going up maybe 200,000-300,000, they want to refinance, pull out a couple $100,000. Well, now they was at that 3% interest rate. Now when they refi, now they're going to be at that 7%, that 6.5, 6. Now it's going to be more than 6.5, 6.75 or higher. Yeah, you'll get that money, you can refi, but that new payment is going to triple. So, if you was at 2,000 a month, now you're at 6. Something to think about, But the foreclosure market is what it is. It's not going anywhere. It's going to always be here. It's part of real estate, But making, and like I say, it's like a chess game. Make your next move your best move. If you're in foreclosure, you need help. You need to reach out to someone who can help you. My motto is help never hurt. Difficult takes a day, impossible takes a week, right? Reach out to me, call me direct, 323-795-0441. DM me on Instagram at Gregory Dixon Official. Hey, if you found this video informative, like, share, subscribe, right? Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. If you want to know about real estate, foreclosures, our next video, we're going to dive into how you can make money in real estate with no money, no credit, no experience. That's going to be a good one. I know y'all want to hear about that right now, but we're not going to talk about that today. Today, that's all our time that we have for today. I hope you guys have got some great information out of this. If you need to speak to me, you can reach out to me direct. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We're on all social media platforms. Gregory Dixon Official, the go-to guy for all things real estate in Southern California. You guys have a wonderful day.